Good morning, everybody. This is Dee, and I've got Olivia here with me. And hi, Renee. Hi, Vernita. So welcome, everybody. We have just a short little agenda today, so hopefully we're done in our half hour. We have just a couple of things that I want to talk about, and one of them is we covered the conciliation process with the CBOs. And if you are, I see Olivia's pulling her screen up. So Olivia, if you can get to the resource page and show them where they can find this and maybe open up the document so that they can see what it is. Basically what we did was we pulled all of the information off of the DHS website and then pulled the process in that was approved by Alan Summers so that they are going to be using the proper procedures for the conciliation process. So the CBOs were informed of all of this on Wednesday, and y'all are welcome to attend those CBO calls. They're at 3 o'clock on Wednesday. The webinar is the same as this, but without the TA at the end. So if you want to attend, I know Chris from Region 1 South attends those meetings on a regular basis. So just if you want to hear what's going on, you're welcome to attend those webinars as well. So we covered the conciliation process, and at the very end, if you want to scroll down to the last page, Olivia, the process is right there. If the person never attends their initial appointment, then it is the DHS staff responsibility to follow through with the conciliation process, and that's per Alan Summers. After they have begun their training and gotten through the enrollment process, then it becomes incumbent upon the CBO to follow through with the conciliation process. So if you want to review this just so that you know what will be happening, then you can see that there. It is on the restricted resources page along with all of the associated documents that are required for the conciliation process. All right, and then we covered the reverse referral process with the CBOs on Wednesday, and we are in the process of actually putting a form together so that they can see what they need to do. We are recommending that everybody use this procedure, but it's a requirement in Cook County. So if you are in another mandatory area, we have the process in place. We have a blank 2151 on the CBO resources page right there so that they can fill it out, and I have put together some instructions that will be posted as soon as they're approved. So sometime later today, they'll be posted as well. Then it has a screenshot of how the CBO can fill it out so that we know that somebody is coming for the EPIC program reverse referral. We want to make that very clear to everybody, especially in some of the busier offices. So those are the two things that I wanted to talk about. Also, on this same page, Olivia, stay there for a second. On this same page, if you see at the top of the list in the first column, the DHS resources, the CBO contact list is right there. So what we have there is basically the primary contacts for the CBO, including their phone number and email address, so that if there happens to not be an appointment available, you can reach out to the specific person for your program. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and put in little asterisks by the primary person that you need to speak to at each of those organizations. Same thing we have available for the CBOs. We have a DHS contact list. So what we're going to try to do is get direct desk phone numbers for you guys so that if there's an issue or something, and maybe a conciliation request that's gone awry or something like that. We want you guys to be able to communicate with each other easily. So I'll be reaching out to everybody through Deidre probably to get your email address and your direct desk extension if I don't already have it correctly. So you might want to go on to that list and check, and if there are any changes that need to be made to that list, you can send it to epic@illinoisworknet.com, any changes to our DHS list. Then I want to show you, if you would like to go back one more screen, Olivia, I'll just get all of my stuff out of the way. Go to the full list of resources, and then scroll down to the customer handouts and marketing, and just pull up one of each of those employer outreach flyers, A and B. You don't have to do both of the same regions. In fact, do a different region on the B flyer. So what we've put together is we've got our marketing plan being approved at the top dog level of commerce, so that we can reach out to employer partners in the area to get some of these candidates that we're working on jobs. So if you happen to run into any employers in your area around your office, you can always help the CBOs out a little bit by having a couple of these flyers available, so that if you just happen to be out and you know that one of those employers hires newly trained individuals, you can carry one of these with you and share it with them. So if you want to click on the other one and open that one up. What we've done is we've put the areas that are being trained in the different areas. So this is a flyer that we have available for the employer side of things. All right, so I'm pretty much done with my list of stuff. So Olivia, if you want to talk about your items.
Okay, so I only have one thing that I'm going to go over with you guys today. Now that we're kind of further along in the process, we're going to try to get rid of some different things that we have in EPIC that don't really have a clear definition of what they mean. And one of the big things that we're hoping to get out of EPIC is the suspended status for the customers. Whenever we started EPIC, we kind of put that in there because we weren't necessarily sure if there was any other areas customers were going to need to go in. But now that we're further along, we need to have customers either as enrolled, not SNAP eligible, or decline to participate. So we kind of want to update this area and get out the suspended status. It's being used not by too many people. We only have about 24 customers who have been marked as suspended. But there's really no clear definition of what a suspended customer is, or what happened to make them suspended, or if they're even still SNAP eligible if they're marked as suspended. So I'm going to be reaching out to some of you later on next week or possibly the week after that, just to kind of figure out where these customers need to go. We've been working on trying to think of some updates that we can make to the system that would make it easier to mark those customers in a different way other than suspended, to better show where they're at in the process. If they maybe were marked as suspended because they didn't ever attend conciliation or anything, and they're going through sanction, we're going to try to have it so we can show that these customers are on sanction and not just suspended. So I will be reaching out to you guys that have customers marked as suspended, so I'll be giving you a call sometime. And if for any reason we are able to make these updates before next Friday, we will send out a document just kind of letting you know what these updates are going to be. If not, then next Friday we're going to go over it a little more on the call, what these customers can be marked as instead of suspended. Do you guys have any questions about the suspended status? Doesn't look like anybody's typing.
No.
That was really all I had, Dee.
All right. Tammy, we've got Tammy on the call.
Hi, Tammy.
Good morning, everybody. I really don't have much to discuss. We're making great progress. We just submitted our quarterly report to FNS, and Jackie, who is our liaison, had no concerns with our report, and says, she's really excited that we are making some progress. Obviously, we need to continue. We're kind of behind the 8 ball on our numbers, so we need to just keep this thing rolling. We are going to start having visits. We are having one next week with Keith is with our evaluation team, and he is going to be interviewing some people in the Chicago area, and then down in Region 5 with Alan's staff on our intake process. And then our FNS liaison, Jackie, is going to be doing a visit here either in August, it's probably going to be September. So she's going to want to look at the intake process and then go to some of the CBOs and look at their work in the field. So, and then within this next quarter, too, we are going to start doing technical assistance site visits with the CBOs. And like I said, a lot of commerce's shift right now is moving to the CBOs and making sure things are moving smoothly on that side. I think we've got our systems pretty well established. I'm sure there's going to be some quirks, some things we're going to have to change on the intake side. So the main emphasis on intake is definitely volume and getting clients in and the outreach plan. So with that said, there's nothing else I really, have to add.
All right. So are there any, let's minimize your screen, Olivia, and see if there are any specific items in this checklist over here to the right that you guys need to chat about with us. And then the other thing that I need to know by area, I've already asked the CBOs, but in your specific geographical area, are there any radio stations or newspapers in your area that you know that your EPIC customers would listen to or read? And then I need to know what town. I've talked to the folks in the Chicago area, and I live up here, so I know that I know the newspapers and the radio stations up here, but if you want to add something that you think that they would listen to specifically, that would be great. And that will help me try to reach out to customers. And what we're going to do is we're going to start a PSA campaign on the radios, and we're going to try to get some news items out into some of the newspapers. We do have a whole marketing plan in place that we're going to try and talk about in maybe later this morning even. All right, and I don't see anybody typing. Hey, this might be a record TA call. Felony conviction back out there for the Marion area. We have a Toyota manufacturing plant that is local that will take felons, but if you put felony conviction in step 3, it is a hard stop and they have no options. All right, I'm not quite sure who you are, Williamson, so that's why I'm calling you Williamson. But Joseph, all right, thank you. Joseph, we'll talk with Tammy and Natasha. Tammy, Natasha, and I will talk, and Olivia will talk about this and see what we can do because you're right, it is a hard stop. So we just have to talk about what we can do technically to make this work for everybody.
And we can discuss this with the provider, too, and see what we can do, because I know some manufacturers won't and some will. It sounds like Toyota will take the felons. So we need to talk with them and figure out the best method for getting these people through so that they can potentially be employed there.
As in, yes, exactly. So what we may need to, do you have Mantricon or are you with Leslie Bates? All right, so we'll talk to Kathy and Tina and see what we can do with that particular program. Okay. All right. Thank you for filling in all of the radio stations and newspapers. That's great. And if you think about any others, send the information to epic@illinoisworknet.com. If you have any issues at all, get in touch with us through EPIC. I noticed this past week we didn't have many issues with getting through orientations and random assignments. So we seem to be chugging along pretty well. I haven't looked at the numbers lately. I know Deidre has an intimate connection with those numbers. Do you want to put in the chat pod how many we have already statewide that have been assigned to EPIC? I saw her on the call, so I wonder if she's listening. All right, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll, oh, there, I see her typing now. All right. Oh, yeah. Olivia can go to the dashboard and show us statewide what we've got. That's okay, Deidre. Olivia's got her screen right here. We'll just do it off of the screen. So right now we're at 271, so that's a good thing. We're chugging along.
Now keep in mind that number at the end needs to be 2,500.
Yeah.
To the CBOs, and that's just CBO referrals, so we still need that 2,500 that's in the core group also.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat because Casey is saying the same thing. So we'll have a chat. I do know that people with felony convictions, many industries cannot allow people with felony convictions. So what we'll have to do is really have a conversation with the CBOs, maybe on an individual level. So Casey, if you can send us an email to the epic@illinoisworknet.com, and Joseph, same thing, that if any of you know that a company will hire felons in your area, if it's one of the industries that we are working with, please let us know so that we can talk to the CBOs. 2284 is what we need to have between both SNAP and EPIC. So we're a little bit behind, but we're cooking with oil now. Okay, I see Williamson typing. I'm going to give Williamson just a moment. Wonder if that is something we should lump in at the beginning of orientation. If you have a conviction that you should opt out. Well, on step three, if they are honest with their personal circumstances, it will show them that there aren't any programs or certain programs available.
We're also working to try to kind of make it so people with nonviolent felony convictions, we're trying to differentiate between violent and nonviolent. We're working on those changes right now, and they're in test. So hopefully once we can get that change in there, that might create a little more leeway, especially for the people with the nonviolent felony convictions, to be able to get into some of these training programs.
Right. And Casey, I agree that they may think it's a waste of their time, but maybe they really didn't understand. You know, if you're doing the interest survey, if they really don't understand what they're interested in, then it's an enlightenment for them. So, and if they're on SNAP benefits and they're not working and they're ABODs and they're not working, what else do they really have to do? So that may be a blanket statement, but I don't consider it a waste of their time. Uh-oh, I might have stirred up the pot. Thank you, Mara. If they would just want to send it to the EPIC at illinoisworknet.com, that'll be great. Okay, I understand. Thank you, Leslie. Well, you know, Joseph and Casey, you could always probably have them go to step 3 first and then do step 2, just work a little backwards. Or maybe we flip the pages around. It's just a matter of have them do the interest survey so that they know what they're looking at before they go through the process. Right. Right. You're true. That's true, Casey. All right. So, So next week we have some things that we will be showing you, and everybody have a great. Oh, sure. Let's wait for Chris. Type quick, Chris. Is this something that we should take offline? Okay. CBO shows availability for the orientation when they are full for the orientation. It should show how many were there and then how many are available. So on the Olivia, do you want to go to a test person and show the random assignment page on somebody that hasn't been assigned to a CBO? You may have to go to the enrolled dashboard and find somebody that needs to be scheduled. Profile. Ooh, Alice in Chains. Lollapalooza is going on in Chicago this weekend. Okay, so on the assignment tab, if you pick and if you look at the calendar, we might have to go to somebody else because that one's saying that there are no appointments available. We might run into that with everybody. Let me get into, ooh, goodness. Who was that first? Go to resources instead, and then go to agencies. Who was that? Who was the first person for Albany Park? So add an appointment there. Oh, all you have to do is edit the schedule. All right, so on their calendar, it shows that there's 2 appointments available and nobody's been scheduled. So let's go back to the customer. Assignment. All right, so it's not showing the same thing. Let's, we'll talk to the programmers and see if we can add how many are available on there so that you guys aren't having to go through that issue. Okay. It shouldn't show on eligibility review if it's not available. But that just may be, you mean they're showing that they're full for the number of people or full? Oh. All right, we'll have to check into that, Chris.
Chris, can you tell us which agency is showing that they're full?
None of them should be.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any that are showing as that they're full.
They may just be full for that orientation session, Community Assistance Program.
Okay, CDL.
So it may just be the program. Community. So it's the scroll up.
Up.
Scroll up, yeah. Why aren't those in alphabetical order? Sort the agencies by, is that sortable? Region 1, filter.
It may be towards the end.
It's CAPS.
Community assistance, there you go. The customer service, keep going down a little
Down
bit
at the bottom.
further.
Down at the bottom, and it says that it's the CDL program. They've only got 2 people assigned. They've only got 5 people that are going in there. So we'll have to check into this, Chris. We'll make a phone call. I'll call them after we hang up from the call today. Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. Have a great day, everybody, and a great weekend.